Hello and welcome to the Villager Veteran video. This video is for anyone who wants to improve their survival rate as a villager in Lunatic Inquisition and already know the basics. This will basically be a series of tips, so let's get to it. First and foremost, mouse-based camera movement. Seriously. If this is at all possible for you to do, then please learn it. What I mean is holding down your right mouse button and moving your mouse around to change the direction your camera is facing, as well as using your move left and move right keys, whether that's A and D or the left and right arrows, or if you have it to something else instead, in order to move sideways. This is called strafing. Another tip here is to, while we're on the topic of cameras, is to navigate to your toggle action camera keybind setting and setting that key to something. So here's how we do that. You open up your options, which is this. You can press escape and go to options, or press F11 by default. Go to your control options, find the camera category here, and then under toggle action camera, double click into this blank field, or make note of what is there, and then that will be your key that you'll press in order to toggle it on and toggle it off, like so. I have mine bound to the number pad's asterisk key, because it's out of the way and I never need it in an emergency situation, and I don't want to accidentally toggle it on or off. Okay, next tip. Spider webs. When you see them on the ground, take them and throw them away. They're useless. All they do is immobilize an enemy ghost, and if a ghost picks it up, it'll be the best trap that they can possibly use against you. It's not the best in terms of CC for us, so just take a web, throw it away. Speaking of picking up items, items that you do pick up will eventually respawn. It'll take 45 seconds, and another item will take its place. If it's a guaranteed spawn, such as this torch right here, if I take this torch, eventually, in 45 seconds, there will be another torch to take its place. Finally, some goo. Looks like someone else has been working on this. Which brings me to the next pro tip. If you're going to do something, do it with others. Cooperation is key for most people's survival. Having 2 or more people using CC, for example, with these torches, allows you to chain together that CC just before the first one ends. If a ghost shows up to this neighborhood, they will be stuck perpetually in a burning animation so long as we time our torches right. As you can see, from working together, we have created a feast, and we have all the torches we could ever want. No ghost came here, unfortunately, for this demonstration, but at least you can see all the items. Running. Simply keep running and moving around. Learn where the guaranteed food spawns are located, and just run from one to the next. Unless there are too many fears from ghosts, or teleport and slash combinations, or you get caught in a Mad King Says emote without food, you will outrun them all. Speaking of running, you know that whenever you are in combat, you run slower. You also know by now that as a villager, you run faster than other ghosts. Another fun fact, when you have a gun, you run even faster than other villagers. It's a slight movement speed increase. I want to guess 10%, but we don't really know. Also, you will want to learn the feast's locations. The first location is here, another one here, another one here, and the last one here. These 4 are the feasts that are spawned whenever you complete the events. Okay, and for the final feast location, it will be in middle, which brings us to our first secret. Spawning the feast in middle requires that you pick up one of the torches that you can find lying around in the maze, and simply running next to these unlit standing torches. There are 2 in every corner of the middle area of the map. Lighting them all in under 1 minute will spawn the feast. It will spawn on either the north side or the south side. So whatever side you happen to be on, south in this case, look for the feast. It will spawn in the center between east and west. That's pretty much all it takes. It's generally a good idea to try to do this within the first 2 minutes of the game. The next thing I'd like to show you here, as part of the running around section of this video, is going to be to save your dodges for whenever you see a fear, specifically the ghost number 4 AoE fear. It's a scarecrow, and as soon as you see it, that is whenever you will want to dodge. Like so. Saving your dodges for those fears will help you stay ahead of the ghosts pretty much no matter what you're doing, so long as you're running. I will also note that there are a couple of exceptions to when you should use your dodge. The first exception is if a ghost is really close to you within the number 2 jump / range of their axe. That is a great time to use your dodge to get slightly ahead, as dodging does ignore the penalty from being in combat, the movement penalty. The other final exception to this is if you are just about to reach some food that is spawned on the ground, and you have, say, Mad King Says on you, like a dance or ponder, that is another good time to go ahead and use the dodge just to get a little bit of extra distance and hopefully ending your dodge directly on top of the food, like so. You can combine this with another fact of using your hide and shadows, but I'll be getting to that later in the video. Alright, now let's find out where all the food spawns, the guaranteed food spawning locations. This is crucial to anyone who wants to run around the map a lot, or even just you happen to be in transit from point A to point B. Food locations are here in the middle. There are 4 in each, 1 in each corner, 4 in the middle area total. One's right here. Another one right here. Another right here. And the final one is located right here. The other 4 locations for guaranteed food spawn are going to be in the north, south, east, west directions of the map. I'll show you those next. Here in the north is this food spawn location. Here on the east side, this is another one. And in the south side. And here on the west side. I've mentioned this in other videos, but a good thing to save your food for is whenever you see in the chat log or hear in the audio your Mad King Says. This means a ghost is going to cast your Mad King Says. It also has a certain animation to it, so if you are watching the ghost, you can see the animation of them casting your Mad King Says once you know what to look for. I'm not sure that this ghost is going to do this, however, so we might not get a demonstration here. However, the moment that you see it in the chat or hear it or see it here, then you will want to eat your food, which will give you the immunity to Mad King Says. Also, another time to save your food for is whenever there are multiple ghosts or even one ghost who's about to kill you. They might use a fear, say right here behind me, fearing me into the wall. Maybe I don't want to be in a wall to be cut down by an axe, so I will use the food to break the stun, clear the conditions, and run away. Alright, I've mentioned this in the other beginner villager video. However, it's worth repeating here. The dance Mad King Says emote, if you've been hit with that, it's generally just never worth trying to do unless you know they cannot possibly kill you or interrupt you with their fears as you try to finish the emote. It simply takes too long. Ponder is also usually unsafe to try to finish doing, but it is slightly faster and therefore easier than the dance emote. Shrug, cower, and salute are usually safe to attempt, especially if you are far enough away, which due to how quickly you can execute them, It doesn't have to be all that far ahead, especially Shrug, as that's the shortest one of all. Let's see. Okay, there we go. As demonstrated just then, whenever you start to hear the Mad King says, or you see the animation or whatever, you can try to pick up an item, any item, but food will be especially the best because, you know, it's food. Okay, a couple other tips that don't require a ghost to help, fortunately, is if you start to hear the Mad King says, or you know that it's going to happen, you can, just before your skills swap over, use the hide and shadow skill and then perform the emote while you are invisible. Of course, you know, a ghost can try to fear you out of it, but you might get lucky and be able to do the emote in peace. Okay, while under the effects of Mad King says, you can try to do it, maybe not. Let's say that you are unable to do it just in time. You will take the damage, you'll be stunned, but you can use hide and shadows while you are stunned, giving you just enough time to pick up food or something else. Okay, the next thing to cover here are the best places to hide in the game. If hiding is more your speed and not running around constantly, you might be tempted to hide, say, behind this structure here, or maybe even indeed all the way back in this corner. However, these are still visible while your name tag and character are going to be hidden quite well. You're still visible to the ghost radar, which by now you probably already know about. So the best places to hide, there are 3 of them, are going to be places that can hide your full body, of course, your name tag ideally, and are not visible on the radar. Because there is a range to the radar, it's simply a matter of being far enough away from any of them. I covered these positions in the beginner villager video, but I'll show them here as well and go into a little more detail. Okay, so this corner is a good spot. We're here in the northeast section of the map. It's a slightly tricky, narrow ledge to get around. It's possible to get around without jumping, but sometimes people don't hug the wall close enough and will end up slipping off anyway. Just now I got Ripper for being the last person alive. I can go over this another time, though. One of the things to do whenever you are on one of these ledges, and this will apply for all 3 of the locations, is to be running into the wall here whenever you see a fear coming your way, because sometimes a ghost will find you, perhaps because they know of the spot. They'll use the number 4 scarecrow, and it'll fear you off the ledge. If you don't want this, simply move into the wall and then dodge the scarecrow as you normally would. If, however, you are forced off of the ledge, it's a good idea, as usual, to have food, and you'll be able to get away pretty quickly. Another thing, too, is if you have a hammer or if you have the gun, you can use these to use the golfing method, which just means knocking the ghost off of the ledge, and that will send them all the way back to middle, wasting their time instead of yours. If you do have food, which is great, you should always have food, no matter where you're hiding, and you are forced off the ledge, you can go invisible immediately. A lot of people do this, and then eat your food and run away. I'll see you at the next 2 places. Actually, real quick while I'm here, there are a couple of honorable mentions as places that are great to hide. All the way down this long hallway, and then all the way back up in here is a great spot to hide because it's a long distance. It's pretty well defendable. However, ghosts can find you because of the radar. Second honorable mention is this area over here, not on the branch, but down here, far below, right here. Very well hidden, but again, the radar can find you. These spots are good, of course, because you can fall off the ledge and then teleport and then run away. Okay, here's the second good spot out of the 3 best hiding spots. This is another good one, mostly because of the radar factor, that you are outside of the range. However, of course, it is probably the least safe of them just because ghosts could find you from the other angle. And last but not least of the 3 best hiding locations is this ledge over here. Ghosts generally will not wander over here to find you, and my name tag is not visible around this corner right here. The person will have to come, pretty far out here just to see my name tag. And then once again, it's outside of the range of either of these two radars. So very great spot, and as you've noticed, the trend is a ledge. I will show you two more of the honorable mentions, but they are, again, visible to the radar. Okay, honorable mention number, 3. There's this face here, which makes it a very dangerous spot to try to get to, so always be aware of that alarm wall. But you come around this corner, you can see that it's great because it's very not visible except for the radar. So some people like to hide behind this just as an extra security measure, and again, a ledge. Unfortunately, it puts you right here, so highly recommend using a hammer to smash the alarm wall if you intend to be in this area for a while. The final honorable mention is up here on the north side once again, almost to the northeast corner. You can come around here and try to hide. That's pretty much it. Again, as usual, a ledge. Okay, now for the final secret, which I did cover this in the beginner villager video, but I'll go ahead and cover it again here. First, you need a hammer from the middle, then find and smash an alarm wall. And on this note, if you happen to be somewhere else, say the right side, go ahead and grab the hammer over there, and it's usually a good idea to smash whatever alarm wall is closest to you, especially if there are people who are coming to the south alarm wall and picking up all the boulders. Next, you'll pick up a boulder, take it over to one of these 5 pumpkins. I will show you the pumpkins. So this is one of them. And in this line continuing on, this pumpkin is another one. This one is a third one right here. This is another one. And this one. These are the only 5 hanging pumpkins that will spawn a pumpkin when hit with a boulder in the entire map. The next thing to do is to take the pumpkin that spawned and hit it there. You'll have noticed that when my cursor turned into a white dot, that was whenever I turned on my action camera using the keybind that we set earlier in the video. At this point, your pumpkin has turned into a jack-o'-lantern. You come up here, talk to Mad King Thorn, and eureka, you have a gun. This is called the blunderbuss. You get 2 shots with it. I will not shoot this person. Actually, no, I won't. But you have 2 shots. It's highly recommended that in order to get the shots off, you will want something like a bone as one of the better items for this. I will go ahead and demonstrate. Stun them, shoot them, that's 1 kill. For the next kill, you can use your rifle butt to CC them and then shoot them again with the next gunshot. That'll get you 2 kills. The most important thing about the gun is to note that if you want to get a pretty much guaranteed kill using the whole CC and then shoot combo, it's best to stick your gun pretty much right inside the ghost, maybe just outside of them, and that way you'll get your 90% damage, and then 10% damage from the rifle butt. The final thing to note about the gun is that you can get more ammo whenever you interact with one of these feasts. So ideally, someone else will have probably already spawned the feast in middle, and then you'll be able to go to it. Otherwise, you might have to do it yourself. That's it. Thanks for watching. In the future, I will upload some sort of a video where it's just showing how all these tips can be combined for a pretty good run, either running around in middle or helping people stockpile an area, to set up some sort of kill zone or golfing or whatever, like I mentioned in the beginner villager video. But that's pretty much it. So hope you have a very spooky Halloween. Thanks for watching.